Hi guys, today we'll be looking at how to work with your log footage. I'll guide you through step by step using the products from LUT Pro. Okay, so now we're in Premiere Pro, and you can see that I've imported my log video file. So what I'll do is I'll drag it over to the timeline and make a sequence. Next up, we're going to grab an adjustment layer, and if this pops up, just hit OK. It should be OK. And we're going to drag two adjustment layers onto the timeline. So we'll stretch them out to the length of the clip because that's how we get the LUTs applied. And once we've reached this point with two adjustment layers on top of the video file, we've done everything we need to do in editing. So what we'll do is move over to the color tab and the setup will change a little bit. So you can see on the left here I've got my Lumetri scopes open, so that'll just help me keep track of the exposure. And on the right we've got the basic correction, creatives and the curves tabs open. If you don't see some of these, just reset your workspace and it should show up again. So what we'll do now is we've got a log video file loaded up with the two empty adjustment layers. So we'll select the bottom adjustment layer and we'll add our log conversion LUT. So head over to Creative and change the look and move down to Browse. So what we'll do is we'll head over to LUT Pro Pack V2.0. And I want to work with the teal and orange today, so I'll select that pack. So the nice thing about the LUT Pro packs is they all come with a log conversion profile pre-installed. So here's my log conversion, so I'll select that and hit open. So now that we have the log conversion applied, it changes the image to a Rec 709 style, which is a good baseline for the beginning of color grading. So what we're going to do now is I just don't want our highlights and our shadows touching 100 and 0 just yet. So I'm going to go to the intensity slider and drop it back just a little bit to make sure that neither of them are touching 100 or 0. So I'm quite happy with that now, there's nothing peeking over. So what we can do now is we can move over to our adjustment layer and import the LUT that we're going to use. So once again we can go to Creative and open up Look and then Browse. And I'm going to open up a teal and orange LUT. So I'll grab the teal and orange one from the LUT Pro pack and I'll hit open. So right away you can see that it's extremely blown out, and the reason we opened it up in Creative was because the Creative has an intensity slider. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down and drop it all the way back. So now all we're seeing is our log conversion, and I'm going to work my way up slowly until I get the colors that I want, or I can see it starts going overexposed. So what I'll do is I'll tweak it to around 40. I think 40 works quite nicely with this image. So yeah, so you can see here now I'm still not hitting 0 on the shadows or 100 on the highlights. So now is the time to move over to the curves. So in the curves we can just tweak it to get the most out of our image, making it look the most professional it can. So what we'll do is we'll head over to the slider and grab the highlights and just drag them over, paying attention to the Lumetri scopes. So I'm going to be watching when the first peak starts hitting 100. So I'll slide it slowly over. And if it starts going over, that's not good because then you start losing quality in the image. So we're going to tweak it back a little bit just until the first one hits. Okay, so now we're going to do the same for our shadows. So you can see that the shadows still have a bit of a way to go. So we'll do the opposite of the highlights and move to the bottom and slide a little bit down. And round about there I'm quite happy. So you can see now it's just touching the line, and that's the highlights and the shadows taken care of. So you can see the image still looks a little bit blown out, and we were quite lucky, so the lighting was quite perfect that day. So your image might not reach the highlights or the shadows perfectly. Just bear that in mind and tweak it to how it looks good. So the final step for the curves is I'm going to grab a point there and just move it in a little bit. And just that little changes the image quite a lot. I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly open it up full screen and see how it looks. Yeah, okay, I'm really happy. The exposure is good and the teal and orange LUT pack's working really nicely. Thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed our tutorial. If you have any questions, feedback or concerns, let us know. The team at LUT Pro is always passionate about making your color grading process easier.